Good day, good day, good day. This is Mr. Anderson. I want to come on and talk about my wonderful session, career coaching session I had with Amy yesterday. Um, I was kind of skeptical going in, uh, yet her energy and her professionalism and her knowledge of what she does and her story really resonated with me. And her path to where she was like the HR director over 50,000 people all over the world. And she said she traveled all over the world, all over the country, all over the place, going to different places. She was like, she missed out on a bunch of, family events, Christmases, holidays, birthdays, events, to make the money. And I made pretty good money. I made really good money for it all to, for it all to come to an end. And she said combined, no, they hired 4 people to do her job. So she was like, man, they owed me 4 salaries. She's like, I was doing the job for 4 people. And then they offered her a, they offered her a, they offered her a, either to stay and take a less job or to take a severance. And so she did the math and she was like, it really wasn't worth it. So she ended up switching gears, and I can't remember the exact, but she ended up doing what she's doing now. And she was like, fortunate enough, she had money saved up and 401k and stuff like that, where like she was like, I really didn't I wasn't in the need for money. So she was just doing this job pretty much part-time. She was doing it on her own, but then she wanted benefits and some other stuff, so she ended up joining the company, and she had been there 17 years, but she's been doing it how she wanted to do it. And that just really resonated with me. It's like, man, we get in these systems and we get in these structures and we really don't think. We get comfortable. Our thoughts, this all ties into thoughts and changing your thoughts and understanding your thoughts and having a plan and having a purpose. So we really get in our thoughts and get comfortable with certain things and all those distractions that come around us, that we really don't see the effect of things. And that's one thing I do love about trading, me learning how to day trade and learning the market. It's like, man, money is always moving, and the markets don't lie. They don't lie. They show you what's about to happen. They show you what's going on in the world. It's just understanding how to read it and understand it. And it's really changed my perspective on a lot of stuff, especially with my job letting me go like they did. Like, it really was like, wow, wow, really. But it's part of the system. It's part of that structure. Yeah, and she was like fortunate enough she had money. And see, that's where I'm into. I want to be able to set my children up, my children's children up for something. We have to have a plan. We have to have our purpose in line. That's another thing I want to talk about. Just really finding that purpose, and cutting things that's not meant for you, that's not driving your purpose in life. We should all have, I would say, maybe have 1 or 2 main purposes we want to do. I think the number 1 priority and purpose is our children, ourselves and our children. Being able to provide for them and do that, that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate. Yet the other purpose is what are we trying to accomplish? What are you trying to get to? Where are you trying to go? Are you doing the little bit of extra to get there, to do that? Like, what purpose? Because if this is not feeding that purpose, you're really not. You're just going in circles. You're just circling through life and not really going through things. I mean, and some people might be okay with that. Some people might be content with that and okay with just that stuff. And yet, you know, your intentions and purpose should be always in front, you know, in yourself. You're learning for yourself, your purpose, because that's what's giving you the feeling. That's what's giving you the fuel to keep going. And that's one of the things that I knew what it was. I knew my children was my main purpose, but then I know that I love to be a resource. I love to help. I like to be a resource of help. And that's where I want to be. That's where I want to go. And she gave me some really good insight. Amy gave me some really good insight on my future. She solidified some things for me that it's got me where I want to, the direction I'm going into, which I've already been going into it. It's just now it's more in line with what's going on with me. And it's me now having to understand the past, understand, my environment as I grew up, the peoples I was around, the relationships, the friendships, the jobs, the career choices, the ideas I have. We are a product of our environment. I had a real good conversation about that yesterday. You have a choice. You can either be the product of the environment and live in that product, or change your mind to where this is not actually three, actually three choices. And that's what I forgot about that, which we were talking about. I was saying last night, you got actually three choices. You can be the product of the environment and live in that environment and stay in that environment. You could be a product of your environment and get out and be positive in that environment. And you can also get out of that environment and be a negative part of that environment. Just say, you grew up in a household that your parents didn't show much respect or love or care. So when you can be a product of the environment and you can be that way, or you can get out that environment and drown your sorrows and stuff in alcohol or drugs or some kind of addiction or some kind of thing, or you can use it on the positive side and you can be that one of love and giving and helping people. So you have the choice, but some people don't know how or don't have the resources how. But yet nowadays, with internet on your phone and, YouTube videos and all the stuff, you have the resource, the tools that you need. It's just people don't need them. They don't want to think. Sometimes people don't want to think. Sometimes people don't want to dig deep. And I understand that. I mean, if that's whatever you do for you, it's understandable. I mean, I get it. Yet sooner or later, your children are going to come to you and ask questions. That situation might pop up later on down the road in a relationship, in a job or something, where it might come back and you just never know. So you have to be able to understand your thoughts and shift your thoughts into a more of a purposeful driven lifestyle. And like for me, I love these little drinks. I don't know if you can see it, but like I switched this to be into, because I love energy drinks. So now I do these. I buy these instead of I get energy drinks. So it's just certain things that you have to change. You have to want to change. You have to want to grow. You have to want to be your true self. Like I said before, you only got one life on this earth. That life can expand by what you give to your children and your children, what you give to the world, what systems you create, what are you doing, what value are you, what value to yourself are you giving back? And one of the things is that your purpose could be God-like. What would God do? What would Jesus do? What would Buddha do? What would Allah do? What would whoever do? You want to be that part of that growth, of that dynamic of giving and giving back. Back got stiff. So it's just really understanding. It goes back to your thoughts. Product of your environment, your thoughts, your reality, your truth. understanding that. And that's the hard thing to do, is go back and dig into that and pay attention. And like I said, I pay attention to the signs. I think God talks to us all in different ways. I'm shown by the people that come in my life. I'm shown by, just situations that happen around me, and I slow down and I think about it. And that's where my growth comes in. I don't want to not understand and distract myself and not go through the pain or go through the happiness without understanding the feeling and understanding what it is. And we got a lot of people out here emotionless. They just don't have a feeling. And that's because of their past. It's because of traumas they had in their past. But, sooner or later, you got to learn how to let that go. And that's that feeling of fear, the fear of losing, the fear of not having, the fear of rejection, the fear of the fear of rejection, the fear of everything. It's just the fear. It's just that fear. You got to let go of that stuff. And just move forward. You find your purpose in life, find a few purposes. If it's, and like I said, it should be given as your children, and your parents and your friends and family. That should be a given. It's being there for them, because a lot of times our family and our cousins and nieces and nephews and uncles and stuff, a lot of times they look up to us, or they feel our energy when we're around, and they like that. They love that energy. They admire that energy, and that they see that you're purpose driven. And then a lot of times they want the best for you because they didn't get a chance to live the life that they wanted, or they had some things that they didn't understand, that they never didn't understand, or distractions or addictions or something going on with themselves that they didn't get. But yeah, man, just really focus in on self and your thoughts and your purpose, and work on that. I have some things that I want to create, and like I said, she solidified a lot of stuff for me. She really made it clear the direction I want to go in, and I had a plan. She said, man, you're one of the first that I've dealt with that has a plan, that knows they want. A lot of times people come on, she was like, a lot of times people come on here and be like, man, what you got for me? What direction you want me to go in? And not really think for themselves, and not really think for themselves, and not really know what they want, and what direction they want to go in. Because a lot of it is trauma. I can just imagine people losing their jobs and just out of nowhere. And she said it's really got a lot more. She's had a lot more cases in the last couple of years. And I was like, yeah, because I watch the markets. I see the markets doing it. And the markets don't lie. When that stuff start dipping and people start restructuring and money starts shifting around, yeah, we're gonna get let go. They're gonna start from the top, and then they're gonna start from the bottom, and then they're gonna pick who they want to keep. But that's most careers, most jobs, most industries. That's anything. So, with that being said, man, just keep learning yourself. Take time out. I understand it gotta be an everyday thing, but once a week, once a week, just kind of sit down and be in your thoughts. Sit still for a minute. Let God talk to you. That was one of the, I went to go see a guy, David Banner, one time, and he was like, the problem with black folk, or most folks, is that they pray and then they get up. They're gone. They're going to the buffet. They're going to go sit outside and talk for 30 or 45 minutes to an hour, instead of sit there and pray and sit down, sit still for like 5 minutes. You ain't giving God time enough to talk to you, to answer your prayers, to give you something, a sight. You also get up so quick to go do what you got to do, or so busy that you miss out on your blessings. You miss out on what's next to you. You're praying for a man or a woman, and if you sit there 5 minutes, he might have one walk right by you. That's for you. They could be for you, but you're too busy trying to get up and beat Sally Mae to the buffet line, or to pastor first. Who trying to get the pastor first? Like, man, you really got to slow down, man. And I always tell my son that, man, slow down for a minute. Slow down. slow down and think. And I think that, and listen and think, that will really calm your nerves. And like I said, it's been a roller coaster for me these last few years, with business and children, family growing, dealing with a lot of things, dealing with new career, dealing with changing. Like, I really sacrificed it all for my family. I wanted to make sure my family had, but I'm not. I wasn't perfect. I ain't perfect. I ain't far from perfect. There's things that I still need to learn, still need to grow on, and I made my mistakes. I'm accountable. I take accountability for all those things. Yet I also hold myself at a higher standard to a certain point. And I would say this, I'm either on 199 or 0. There's no in between for me. A lot of times, there's no in between for me. That's just me. That's just who I am. But yeah, I'm going on 16 minutes, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Do what you do. Use your thoughts to mold your reality. It all starts within. It all starts within who you are. So use that. If anything, I'm not no healer. I'm not no nothing. I'm just a man on a mission to be a resource. I'm a man on a mission to help. I got a lot of experience in a lot of different things, and I want to help, and I want to use these things to help my family and help my friends and help the ones that maybe need help to go and grow through, and be able to leave something and provide for themselves and the ones around them in the best way they can. Because these days of time, man, night is coming faster. The darkness is coming faster. It's just so busy with all the things we got going on. Holiday, like now, holiday season coming around the corner next week, and people out shopping, and just sit still for a minute. Enjoy your family. It's not about the presents. It's not about the presents. It's about the present. This is Mr. Anderson, and I approve this message.